Hello everybody, Shift Your Mindset here with a new episode. Real encouragement among the JWs, or is it just the placebo effect? Because it had me thinking, when I was just out, few months out, I was talking to my family-in-law, my brother-in-law, and we're having a discussion, and he said, I admire Jehovah's Witnesses because blah 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 blah. And I said, yeah, and they encourage each other, they're a tight group and stuff like that, and they have the same goals, blah, blah. Now I'm 4 years along the line, 4 or 5 years, and I was thinking, was it really encouragement? Most of the encouragement is, of course, during the congregation meetings. That's why Jehovah's Witnesses also come together to worship God, but also to encourage each other, and that you are not alone, that you see other people with the same goal that you have to worship Jehovah. And I was thinking yesterday evening when I was sitting, staring at the sunset, and I thought, is there an occasion that I was encouraged? Because we always hear those stories on conventions, etc., about people who have had losses in their lives, obstacles in their lives, challenges in their lives, and they went to a meeting, and in that meeting, exactly the thing they were worrying about, they were thinking about, was mentioned in the Watchtower study, or something else. And I was digging in my brain, in my memory, and I thought, I had also my challenges. I lost my dog, I know, as the day of yesterday. I lost my marriage. And like a devoted JW, I also went to the meetings, of course. And I was thinking, was I encouraged by that meeting? Was I encouraged by the people around it? And I have to say, the only thing I was happy about was that the meeting was over. I had to drag myself every time to the 2 hours of meeting. I wasn't encouraged. There wasn't a miracle Watchtower paragraph that highlighted my problem and gave me encouragement at that time, at that point, that the Holy Spirit was guiding me in something, wants to make me something to understand. I don't know how to say it, but for me personally, it wasn't an encouragement. And I think that the meetings create some sort of placebo effect. When you say that the meetings are to encourage each other, also with giving answers that encourages each other, I don't know where they get that from, because there weren't answers that encouraged me at all. Because somebody raises their hand that encourages other people to also take part in the meeting. I never got that one, but it didn't give me that fulfilling feeling that I was looking for and that was promised to me as a JW. It was promised to me by the leaders, that if I go to a meeting, I come home and I can take on the whole world. And I have to say, it was most of the time the other way around, because in that meeting you hear that you have to do more, that you can do more. You always have examples in the literature, in the magazines, from people who do 10 times more than you, who have 10 times more bad things happening than you. And you think, oh, I can't complain because I only lost a lot of money today. that's not that bad. Look at him. He lost 3 people in his household. And blah, 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 blah. The whole story is created. So there wasn't room for the individual hard things in life. And the placebo effect is real, I think. I think most of the people want to think that the meeting encourages you. But if that meeting encourages you so much, why was I always happy to do microphone duty or to do the security on the conventions? Because then I had no time to sit on my chair and listening for 2 hours to someone who's giving a talk. I couldn't drag myself through those 2 hours, so I always had to do something else to keep me occupied and not just sitting and listening to all those things that was said. And I don't know if many people can relate to it, because it's just a personal something from me as a JW back in the days. I was always busy with video and audio in the congregation. We had to record the meetings for the whole of the country. If someone gets sick or whatever, they can play the whole meeting. Or if they don't have a public speaker at that time in that weekend, or something happens with it, it can't go through, then they can put that meeting on the screen. So I was always busy with before the meeting and an hour after the meeting. I was always the one who closes the Kingdom Hall in the last few years that I was a Jehovah's Witness. And that was not nice, but during the meeting I was so busy with inserting pictures in the frames, zoom in, zoom out, cutting some answers out of the Watchtower study because an elder said, oh, this is not suitable for the rest of the country, blah, blah, blah. I was busy. I was continuously busy during the meeting, and that helped me go through meetings. So I can't relate, and I'm hoping you guys can give me an answer below in the comments if you are ever encouraged by people. Because yes, I also talked with people. Yes, also people knew about my situation, that I was getting divorced, that I was divorced, that I was alone, that I'm going alone to the meetings. But now that I left the Jehovah's Witnesses, I know what real encouragement means. I know what real friends are. I know people who have my back 24/7 if it's needed. If I just make a phone call now, within a few minutes people are here. In that time, my bar was low of what I thought was encouragement. So I shifted my mindset now, last years, to a higher level. So for me, it's the placebo effect, that you think you are encouraged and that you will see back into your life. But was it real encouragement? No, it was just plain talks, no depth in the conversations, no real emotions by other Jehovah's Witnesses about how sorry they are and that they feel bad for me. And just in JW land, if you were a Jehovah's Witness, you know the top 10 sentences of the Jehovah's Witnesses if something happened. They all have the same kind of vocabulary. They all have the same sentences. Yeah, Jehovah's blessing. It will be all right. Pray to Jehovah. It's gonna be all right. And that's it. There's no layer, no deeper level between just that they don't know what to do with you, but they want to encourage you a little bit. So sometimes they feel sorry for you, and that's, you see, it's getting a weird conversation. A lot of JWs also left the conversation. They left the building because it's too painful for them. It's too hard for them to show compassion, to show real empathy, to show real friendship. That they close off and they don't know what to do, and then they go, oh wait, I have to go to brother because of the territory map and stuff like that. So they deflect, they go. So is real encouragement in place? I haven't had much shepherding calls, but the one I got wasn't also encouraging. Not at all. Bible, they didn't touch it. It was just, yeah, we're happy with you, brother. And do you want to say a prayer with us? Let's us pray together. But not on the things you are having difficulties with. They don't go into that conversation. I'm struggling with this and this and that. Oh yeah, then you have to pray more, and you have to, shall we go into the ministry tomorrow together, that we can work together, and after that you can come and have a cup of coffee. And while you have that cup of coffee in that brother's house, you really don't have also that good conversation, that you just express your feelings. And because they don't know what to do with feelings, they don't know what to do with somebody else sitting in front of them and having problems and having all those emotions. They are, so for me, encouragement is really the placebo effect within the Jehovah's Witnesses. They think they encourage you. They think they help you in a sense of way. I really think that they do believe that. But for yourself, you're going to the meetings hoping that you are getting encouraged. And if you put your mind on that you are want to be encouraged by somebody or by something, it will happen. But that's the placebo effect. It doesn't happen because the congregation meeting is not about you. It's about the organization. It's the way you have to behave, the way you have to think, the way what you have to do to get God's permission. And it's never enough, because they have hundreds of examples of people who are way better than you. So for me, it was more depressing that I couldn't get to that standard they are placing in the magazines and stuff. So I was always happy that it was over, that I could go home. And if I was home, I feel better than going to the meetings if you are having a bad day. It's completely normal to have a bad day. But in the Jehovah's Witness organization, you can't have a bad day. You can have a bad day, but there's an obligation for you to seek encouragement, to seek the Holy Spirit in the congregation meetings, in the ministry, in the conventions. You're forced almost to show up, to be there. And then, because you want to be there, you don't want to be there, but you are there, you want also that reward. You want that encouragement. And most of the time people say they are getting that by going to the meetings. And maybe it's because you're not alone. But like the person you are alone with, yourself. That's something the Jehovah's Witnesses never taught you. You cannot be lonely if you like the person you're lonely with. If you like yourself, if I like myself, I can never be lonely. And that's the message I want to give you. You can encourage yourself. You don't need an organization. You don't need something outside of yourself to be happy. Happy is something within you. And things can go rough. Things can go south. You can have problems. You can have a bad day. But seeking a remedy for that in an organization who really don't know what love is about, because love starts in yourself. And love in the Jehovah's Witnesses is always loving another, loving this, loving that, loving that. But before I can love you or I can love somebody else around me, I have to love myself. Because I can't give away what I don't have. So, in my opinion, it's a placebo effect for the Jehovah's Witnesses to keep them in place, to keep them under control, to keep them in fear and guilt that there is encouragement waiting for you outside of yourself by people who even don't know what truly love is. So think about that, start your critical thinking, do your research, work on you. And if you work on you, it will reflect in your outer world, for sure. So let me know how you think about it, and we see each other on the next episode.